Hey guys, how you doing? This is Sharon with UCDI and Do Something Daily. Listen, today we're going to talk about navigating difficult conversations. Woo woo woo, we've all had them. We all would rather have not had them, but as we know, they are inevitable. So you can have them. You can have them with your significant other. You can have them with your children, your cousins. You have them with people from your past. You have them with people in your present. Just some conversations are uncomfortable. And a couple of years back, we did something on discussion discomfort. And so that's what we're going to look at now, the discussion discomfort and navigating difficult conversations. This is going to be the work edition. So, question is, have you ever found yourself dreading a conversation at work, whether those are performance issues, politics, sensitive things in general, salary? All those conversations are tough. They're not, they're tough, guys, but they're necessary and they're critical. If you want to be or you want to see movement and you want to be in different positions than maybe you were in your past, or better positions, or more quote unquote improved scale, sitting in different seats, you're going to have those conversations. When someone asks you what you want, you actually have to know what you want. And if you don't know, it's okay to say, hey, you know what, give me some time, let me think about these questions, especially if you haven't had 24 hours or whatever to think about them. Then just say, hey, let me get a moment. Let me be sure I'm hearing you correctly. And maybe let's set up a follow up meeting or a subsequent meeting so that we can talk about these things, or you yourself can bring something different to the table. So it's a part of professional life. If you're on my mailing list, you probably have already seen emails, with strategies to this effect. So for this lunch and learn, here on this Wednesday, we're just going to go over some of the things to help people navigate those type of conversations. So, why is it difficult? It's difficult because people fear conflict. If you look at any type of personality assessments, over half of people in the world are conflict avoidant. They don't like conflict and they fear conflict. Sometimes when conflict isn't even there, we think something is conflict. You don't want to be misunderstood. I don't want to be misunderstood. Nobody likes that. Or even have like a potential fallout with an individual or organization, a company, a group, a church, whatever it is. So, in order to approach these conversations and navigate them a little more effectively, let's go over some tools to do that. One of the first things is, please know that just because you avoid a difficult conversation doesn't mean that that conversation isn't still going to take place. It just will take place without you. Or if you are procrastinating on it, you're not really avoiding it, you're only postponing it. And that's not going to be nice for you or the other individuals within that conversation. It's going to linger, it's going to grow, and because you're not able to speak to the story, people are going to have to make up and fill in the blanks on their own. And so you want to be able to speak to your story, especially even in difficult situations. You want to be able to speak, put your words, your mouth, your perspective, your feelings, your insight to your story. If not, people will fill in the blanks for you. That is just human nature. And you can prevent that by go ahead and having that conversation, being prepared for it. How do I have it, Sharon? This is how you have it. There's going to be 4 strategies, guys. And if you're not on the mailing list, get on the mailing list. Like, why aren't you? Get on the mailing list. Pushapp.sharoncombs.com. And Sharon is spelled with a Y, not an O. First thing you want to do is prepare and plan. Before the conversation, take time to prepare. Know what you want to say and anticipate how the other parties may respond to it. And so when you have that anticipation, well, they may get mad. Okay, don't just stop it. They may get mad. Find another statement, process, solution to address that. Not with the words like you, and I. That's oppositional. So you want to use we, us. What can we do about it? Us. If you're going to use I, let it be the I that is owning something. I wasn't aware. I can do better. I will try to train on that. I don't think so. Like, let your I be your I. But if it's always you, and I, that conversation is no longer a conversation. It is a battle. It's going to be a match for who's right or who's wrong. And the actual point of something is going to get missed. Um, Also, make sure you're having a conversation privately. You don't want to have a bunch of people around, because then you have to deal with how somebody feels because of somebody else saw something and how they may be anticipating it or interpreting it. Then you're dealing with embarrassment. You're dealing with other things. And the higher you go up in leadership, you're going to find out it's some huge egos as you go up. I have ego myself. It's some huge egos. And so you have to be able to navigate that. And that's best navigated in private, unless for whatever reason private is not working. then you have to go ahead and address what you have to address. Sometimes you just got to chop the head off the snake. So prepare and plan. If it is a evaluation, know what's going to be evaluated. Go over your expectations. If it is a contract, know what's inside the contract. Don't stand on something because it's how you feel, but it's not actually spoken to, addressed, or whatever when it comes to the contractual things. If it's like your significant other, oh, I said this is going to be at work, so I'm going to stay at work and in profession. Use the I statements, avoid blame, and, you know, use I statements. I statements for how you are doing it, and seek a win-win solution. So aim for an outcome that's going to be a benefit to them and a benefit to you. That's capitalism in America, guys. It is a benefit to the supplier, and it is a benefit for the demand. So you want to look for a win-win. If you like, oh, I crushed it and I came out and you got all of the victory, that's going to be short term, because what's going to happen is you're no longer going to be able to get that victory in that place with that person anymore, whether that's an organization or whatever. If it's always only one party winning and the other party has to lose, that's not sustainable. If that's in a company, you'll have high turnover. And if you're like, no, I won, just go ahead and look back over the past and see what your turnover is like. All right, even with your vendors, you have to have new vendors, because people don't stay for that. No one wants to always be beat down and feel like there's no value, no win in it for them. So seek the win-win and aim for outcomes that will benefit the person you're speaking with, the organization you're speaking with, and yourself. Be sure that you are articulating to the individual you're communicating with that you are being cooperative and you're not wanting to make them feel bad. This is for when you're in leadership and you are actually evaluating something, and there may be some areas that need improvement. Know that you're trying to be cooperative, and also let them know, I'm not trying to make you feel bad, less than, or any type of way. They're going to be more receptive if you do that, more receptive to the solution when they are a part of it. You want to do your best not to make arbitrary decisions and make decisions for people, period. If you're making decisions for people, that means they were not included in it. There is a large population that likes challenge, choice, and control. And so you want to be able to give people options, not just my way or highway. If it's my way or highway, that does communicate to the individuals you're talking with, the organizations you're talking with, that it's not really a partnership. You don't really even care. Anybody can fit, and the next body will do. And in this case, probably the next body will do, because that organization is going to have high turnover. People are more receptive to things when they have a part in it, they have some say in it. And they're open to that because they feel like they were a part. There's ownership of the thing that they were a part of. They're building it too. It cannot just be an arbitrary decision like, this is what we said about you, this is what you go do, and now you go do it. That's never going to be a win-win. And then follow up after the conversation. Check to see how things are going. How are you doing? If it happened at 4 p.m., make a phone call at 7 p.m. I don't want to call anybody after work. If it's somebody that is reporting to you, you want to go ahead and make that phone call, because, again, if you're not talking, then conversations are still going to be had, and people are going to tell themselves their own story, and they could get misconstrued. It could be off. It could really be a misunderstanding. So those are 4 things you can do to help you navigate difficult conversations. Listen, they happen, and they happen in a world full of people. Some people lie. Some people are selfish. Some people are, they're deceptive. They're disingenuous. Some people have charm. Some people don't have charm. Some people are just cranky. I mean, like, people are people. Some people are amazing and full of sunshine, and you love being around them. So people are just people. Prepare and plan before you have the conversation. Think out some of the things you want to say. Think out your points. Make sure that you're clear and not everything is general. They, always, never, know. This. And then have supporting facts. Just like when you were in school and you wrote an essay, you make a statement, and the other things support the statement that you made. Real-time examples, facts, studies, case studies, things that actually occurred as evidenced by. So prepare and plan. So now you know, and have your notes there. You don't have to try to remember everything, man. Have your notes there. Have some stuff to check off. This is part of the preparation process. Number 2 is use I statements. I statements. Take ownership of your feelings. Take ownership of your failures. Also take ownership of your successes, y'all. The school system that I came up in, public school, trained us to focus on what we got wrong instead of what we got right. And so depending on the role that you're in, some roles are set up just to look for what's out of place. And that's okay, because we need people for that. but also celebrate your successes. What did you do right? What did you put in place? What are some of the wins that you've had? I. Make that about I, and try to refrain. Do your best to not use the word you, because you is an oppositional term. It's an oppositional term. Please recognize too, when you're having difficult conversations or there's discussion, discomfort, be aware of posturing and positioning. Back in the days, it used to be where you're standing up and someone else is sitting down, or the way someone positions the thing is so that they're in authority, and you're receptive, like a big king chess piece looming over a pond. So use I statements. Do your best not to use the word you. That's number 2. Prepare and plan. Use I statements. Number 3, seek a win-win solution. What is going to be beneficial for the person you're talking to? What is going to be beneficial for the organization? How can they come out of this with something that's good, a good ROI? And how can you come out of it too? Whoever it is you're interacting with, wherever this discussion discomfort is, maybe they can't give you a $50,000 raise. Maybe they can give you parking, a set parking spot. Maybe they can give you a 4-day work week. What else can they do so that it is a win-win and it's a partnership where both parties care about the success of the other party? If you're not in an organization like that, or you're not in a relationship like that, ooh, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. The good thing about life is, in seasons of life, is seasons come to an end. And if you're in a relationship or involved in something where you're not considered in any way, shape, or form, hopefully that season will end for you sooner. Even though it may hurt and be, you don't know what's going to go on, a little scary, a little trepidation there, it still in the end will be best, because there are organizations and people that still will want to see you win. There is a tribe for you. There's a tribe for you. Trust me. And the last thing is follow up. After the conversation, check in to see how things are going. This is mainly for people who are in positions of leadership, positions of authority. You had to initiate this conversation, evaluation, PIP, something of that nature, like an improvement plan, performance improvement plan. Check to see how things are going. If it happened late in the afternoon, give them a call in the evening. If it happened early in the morning, check in with them before they leave. You want to do your best not to have these conversations also on Fridays as it relates to work, because you don't know how people will receive things, and you just don't know how they will receive them. So you want to be sure that they're okay. They're not somewhere where it's just like, dang, I don't know what's going on, and they're in a different headspace. And so you want to be sure that people are okay. You want to care about people. Now, how that care is demonstrated or how that care comes across will be different methods. Somebody may hug, somebody may send you a check. It's different. Something may be more physical, more emotional. Some people just may do something to make sure you're set up better for your future. So care may come. Go ahead, follow up with the person. That's number 4. This shows your commitment to resolving the issue, and it provides an opportunity to make adjustments if needed, to make adjustments, to say something else. Hey, I thought about this, or is this an option? But I always want to encourage you in these discussions, these navigating these difficult discussions, options are always better than a only. Options are always better than a only, and you want to have time for acceptance. John Maxwell talks about that pretty quickly, pretty often. Time for acceptance that allows people to process, because I may process faster than someone, and someone else may process faster than me, but everybody has an opportunity and the right to process information. When those situations aren't there, it's because it's emergent. Maybe there's a car wreck and the doctor saying do something, and the nurse, that's not the time to process. Well, I think we should do this. No, there's a body on the table. We're going to follow that top-down leadership at that time. But those are the situations for that. Are you at war and your sergeant says something so no one steps on the mine? You may not have time for acceptance in those situations. But in everyday work, there's a way to have time for acceptance, unless something is just a knee-jerk reaction. So the quick summary is difficult conversations at work are inevitable. They're inevitable. They just come with. If you have a job, you have a difficult conversation in your future, in your past, or maybe even in your present. So handling them well is a skill that can be learned, and it can dramatically improve your professional career and your relationships. Okay. Your professional career and your relationships. I have to go. So when you have this conversation, prepare for it, know about it, and then just don't be married to the conversation. Just be married to the components of the conversation. When you prepare, empathize, and focus on a positive outcome, And typically, you can turn potential conflicts into amazing opportunities for growth and future business and future interactions, things like that. Ask yourself, how can I address this situation? This thing is going on, and end with a win-win. And those responses that you come up with, let them guide and govern your next difficult conversation. Guys, discussion discomfort is real, but avoiding it doesn't make it go away. Procrastinating about it and postponing it is still going to happen. And don't just shut down and be silent, because if you shut down and be silent, then someone else is going to speak for you. And truthfully, who better to speak for you than yourself? You know what your needs are, your wants are, and your desires are. And if you don't, it's okay. Take some time to figure those things out. And a great way for you to do that is to join us in the Synergy Reset. The Synergy Reset starts August 1st. So please go to Sharon Combs, pushapp.sharoncombs.com. Sign up for the Synergy Reset. It's still $99 on the 15th. It goes up to $249. It will change your life. If it does not, you get your money back. I love what I get to do, and I love that I get to do it with you. Y'all be safe, God bless, and have an amazing day.